Hello, this is Maja, and I'm new to the Associate Trainer program. This is my first submission, and here I am with my horse Ada. She's a 4-year-old who is mostly a dressage horse, but we will do both jumping and dressage with her eventually. We've had quite a lot of trouble with her growing a lot, so the muscles and ligaments and so on didn't really catch up with her body. So she was kind of like a puppy, just running around and so on. So she doesn't have that much back muscles or top line, but still she looks nice in her body, but since she's so big, she needs a lot more muscles. And therefore, when I'm lunging her, you will see that she moves kind of irregularly, so to speak. Yeah. And another thing that we've struggled with is the fact that she kind of drops the neck and doesn't work with her back. So since the clinic last weekend, I've started with the side reins on her because he thought it would help her not to just drop but to stay a bit and get the power from behind and over her back and into the contact and not just drop it. And today was kind of a hard workout for us. There was a lot of working and so on the farm, people walking around, and since she's 4, she's easily disturbed. And also the mares and geldings were really in love today for some reason. So half the session they were just screaming at each other, and horses galloping on the fields. You can't see them, but there are more horses to the left. So they were just galloping and screaming, and I think she did nicely today, even though, yeah, during the circumstances. So here you will see me just starting her in the lunge. She does walk on pretty nicely, but she doesn't work over her back, so to say. So I don't know if you can see it, but she has what I call sandals on. It's like shoes that you put on top of or outside the hoof, because she's going on summer vacation in just 2 days. So that's we've taken off the regular shoes and are working with those. So since there was quite a lot of things happening, she's looking to the outside a lot. Yeah, and there you see her pooping, and it's because it's kind of she's disturbed and so on. And when she shows it. So, but she's walking on pretty nicely. I would like for her to move her back end a bit more away from me. And a tip I would give to myself is to move her on a bigger circle. Since she is quite a large horse, she really needs the space. So she, yeah, now. So there I started trotting, and as you see, she's a bit irregular, but still quite nicely. When she really finds her balance and pushes from her back legs and through her back, it's less visible. So she wasn't really working over her back today. I really struggled with it. And you can see her head kind of flopping around, and her energy, so to speak, just going everywhere instead of forward, in a forward motion. But it's getting nicer. I'm trying to get her to move her back end, but sometimes she takes it as a forward, that I want her to go more forward. So I'll have to work a bit more on the commandos, or what I'm doing with the whip, and that's kind of something I have to train on. I do have the side reins on, but she doesn't really want to take the contact. And partly it's my fault, partly because I should move her back leg a bit more outwards and not be on such a small circle. So what we want the horse to do is to push from her back legs and put her hind legs further beneath her, and kind of do a lateral movement, but not too much, but still, when you're on the circle, you want that lateral movement, because that makes her push through her back and into the contact. So right here, that's quite nice. But still, you can see the head kind of going up and down, and it's not much of a rhythm. And that's now, yeah, and that you can see I knew it was one of those days where it would be hard to get her to work. So on those days, I kind of just, when I get what I want, I finish and I let her walk and kind of try getting the same thing in the walk, because I feel when I've started the trot and it's not hysterically bad, but it's not really too good either, I get it semi good, or as good as I feel I can do on that day, and then I stop and let her walk. So that's one of those times you saw her trot away a bit, and that's when she doesn't really want to do the lateral work, so she runs away from me. So that's quite nice. I'd like me to go on a bigger circle, and that's part of the things I need to work on with both my horses, to get them further out on the circle. I really got big help on the clinic I was on, so I'm really trying to to remember what it was that I did, because when I did it at on the clinic, it came so naturally. So I'll just have to remember what it was I did right. So now in the other direction, I kinda sometimes I go on the big circle, and then if I feel she needs it, I will go on a smaller circle and then come out on the big one again. So she's swinging quite nicely through her body, but I think I know that she can do better. But since all the horses are screaming and so on, I don't ask for too much than relaxation. So there I started trotting, And in this direction, you can really see how she is irregular in her movements, and that's a strength issue. So there, it's quite nice. I would like her to go a bit further down. And yeah, right there. So she really finds the circle hard to go on. So bigger circle, I would say, since she's so irregular. It's a strength issue. She needs to build more muscle, and that's why it's so good she's going away on a so-called summer camp, just eating grass and being a horse for 2 months, just 2 days from now. So you can really see how irregular she is. And when I ask her to move, she almost falls into canter. And her energy is kind of going in all directions instead of just forward. So just trying to get her to relax right there. Yeah, you can see that's also strength. She doesn't really have the strength to push from behind, and therefore she kind of drops her leg instead. So, but I think we'll see soon to come. That, I mean, it's not in this session that I did when I was filming. It was never good, so to speak, and I kind of just right there. Okay, so yeah, it's never good because now, as you can see, it kind of got harder now, and that's because all the horses started screaming at this moment. And now I'm just asking for a bit canter because usually the trot gets a bit better when she gets to canter a bit. I don't canter too much because she doesn't have the strength. And still, just a month ago, she would just run everywhere, and it would not be like this. She would just buck and just rear around. So it is better, but she has grown so much, so it's really hard to get her where I want her. Now I'm doing a smaller circle just to get her hind legs away from me a bit more, so that she can push a bit more through her back and come down a bit more. So that's nice. And you saw that was like 2 steps out of 100. That was I was satisfied with. There. Yeah, and it's some sessions it's like that. There. You there. So when she goes down like that, I'm not just looking at her neck. I'm also looking at her balance. You can see it's way more balanced now. And she doesn't have the irregular movement that she had in the beginning. So she kind of settled down a bit and worked more through her back than in the beginning. But because it's really not where the head is. It is as well, but if the head is just down, as she has fooled me with, she has figured out that if she puts her head down, I will leave her alone. So we're kind of working through that she doesn't just drop her head, but she also she will take the contact and work through her back. And now I'm stopping and I'm gonna do some work in hand. In the work in hand, I really struggled with, as I said, her dropping her head. She kind of takes the bit and just, yeah. And now I'm doing a bit. I move her away a bit just before the work in hand. Oh right, I was gonna do in the other direction. Sorry. But later on, when I am doing the work in hand, you will see that I kind of struggle with her wanting to drop her head and so on. So in this direction, I didn't do a lot that much walking, and that's because I felt it was unnecessary. She kind of gets tense sometimes if you make her walk. So some days, like this day, it's better to just let her trot. And that's what I'm doing now. And there you saw she kind of runs into the canter, and that's because she doesn't have the strength. But she is trying, and I think for a 4-year-old growing that much and so on, I don't want to ask her for more because she is not able to, both physically and mentally. So here you will see the irregularity in her walk again, and there she kind of settled for 2 steps. So it's kind of there she settled there, and then I let her walk. So when I get what I want, on these kind of days, I kind of just I let her stop and let her know that what she did was good, but I don't praise her too much. So like it should not become a thing that every time she does this little thing, she's a really, really good girl. But she still needs to know that she was good. And now I'm gonna go and get my reins and so on as the small whip so that I can do a bit of work in hand. And as I said before, the work in hand has probably it's quite difficult because she wants to drop her head and she kind of locks her neck down there. And just keeps it there. And when you're on top of a horse doing that, it can be dangerous. So they can't just drop their head because what was it, a year ago when I was just starting with this, I had no idea and I let her go with the head down and she started bucking and locked her head down there and I fell off and broke my arm. So you really need to make sure that the contact is soft and she really is working through her back because otherwise it becomes dangerous. So yeah. And what you will see me do is kind of having her head quite high, and it's not that I want her to go that high. It's just I want to teach her that I will let her down when I feel she softens in the mouth. So she will have her head quite high in the beginning, but then when she relaxes, I let her down and let her walk there when she swings through her body and really works, really lifts her back. And she, right there, you saw she kind of put her nose a bit too much forward. And that is what I mean when I say she locks her neck. So right here, I'm just asking her to step under. She reacts quite much on it and wants to shove her head down. So I just keep it up and let her know that you will go down when I tell you. You can go down. And that's how you teach the horse to soften. Of course, you should not pull on the mouth, but you don't give until they soften and ask you, "Can I have some rain, please?" They shouldn't just take it from you, as she does now. So it takes quite a while. She's really struggling with letting me decide. And when she softens and says, "Okay, you let me know when I can go down," I do let her down. But it takes a while, right there. So she softened, and in that second, I let her down. And when she gets stiff, when she's down there, I ask her to move a bit more and just right here. Now I am asking her to move a bit more because she became stiff in her mouth and pulled. And that's not okay. So even though she's not working 100% through her back, you can still see a wave going through her body right here. So it's still a wave through her body, but it's not ideal. And now I'm letting her down a bit more. Not right now. Right now, there. So it's kind of a, since she isn't really, since I have to work quite a bit with it, you will see that sometimes she's a bit higher, like now, and then I will let her down, like now. So it's kind of a give and take and timing sort of thing. And now she takes the bit again and doesn't want to move really, and just wants to drop her head. So and it's a big horse. You need to make sure she gets the time she needs and so on, but she can't just decide whatever, because, as I said, it becomes dangerous. So here I'm letting her, if she wants to, go down and right there. So that's better. She's a bit more soft. She isn't really, her back isn't really as much up as I would like to, but I mean, every day it's for them back. It takes time to develop a horse, and since she's only 4, I mean, I have all the time in the world. So this direction, since I did the other, is a bit more, it's a bit easier because I've already done kind of a pre-work in the other direction, so she knows a bit more what I want. so I can let her down a bit soon, faster. So right there, and here you will see her. There is the swing a bit more than before. You can really see that she walks through her body a bit more and not just, yeah, because before she was kind of stiff, and now it's more of a wave going through her. Right there. Yeah, right there. So there I stopped, and I decided that it was time to ride, because she really did well in this direction. It was easier for her, and she settled quicker, and yeah. And this is actually because Will, on the clinic, Will asked me to ride in a dressage saddle, and I haven't ridden one in like 3 years, and so I did, and to my surprise, I really loved it. I get a better seat in it, and so on. Even if I still have to work on my legs not flopping around, I get more of a straight seat, and not as much chair seat as I do in my jumping saddle. And you will see that I will trot a bit while mounted, but I felt that it wasn't really the trot I wanted, or the trot that she needs when you are on top of her. So I am doing mostly walking today, just trying to get her to relax and not starting to buck, because I mean, a 4-year-old and horses running around on the grass, it's kind of a recipe for disaster. So, but she already from the beginning, she's more round than she was a month ago, because then I felt I was just sitting in a downhill. So she's a bit more uphill already, from the beginning. But I would like for her to reach a bit lower, so that she really can get swinging through her body. So you will see she's kind of behind the vertical a little bit, and that minimal that she does really affects her walk. If she were to open up and stretch out a little bit more, she would get a completely different walk. But it's still okay. It's not as stiff as it has been. But you can see she's going behind the vertical at times, and I think it really affects her walk. So with this horse, she kind of gets bored sometimes and want to come up with her own ways of doing things. So I'm trying to change directions sometimes and not just go 10 minutes straight in one lap. So you will see me, I have the whip in my inner hand, and I am sometimes as a, well, I'm asking her to step under a bit more. And so I'm helping my aides, so I don't have to sit and press and press and press. So it's better to use a whip and let them know that this is what we're doing instead of just sitting there pushing with your legs and nothing happening. So I would like her to go a bit further down and open up her walk a bit more. I think that she is swinging through her body, but not as much as I know she can. So I'm never really. I think overall I'm getting 5 steps that I really like in this session. So that's better. Now she stretched down a bit more and opened up her walk. Yeah. She I think I will start trotting soon, if I'm not mistaken. And I I haven't ridden her in the trot that much. I think I've trotted her maybe 15 times or something. Just this last month, I think I've done it 3 times. So it's because of her strength. I haven't felt she was ready for it, and today I felt it was kind of a step back because she wasn't able to push through as much as I liked her to. Yeah, and as you can see, she is kind of flopping around a bit with her head and struggling with her balance. The motion isn't really going through her, and her energy isn't really going forward, but that's quite nice. I would like her to open up a bit more, not be take her nose forward a bit, and come down a bit more, so that she really opens up her back. Because she's quite a short horse, but right now to me, she looks longer than she usually is, or longer than she can be. So that's quite nice, right there. And then she comes up again and oh right, she didn't come up. It was just me slowing down to the walk. And that's all the trotting I will do during this session mounted, because I felt that she didn't have the balance, and the balance kind of sits in. It can either be in her neck or in her back. I usually say so. When she was 2 years old, all her balance was in her neck. She ran around with her head way up high and so on. And getting her to get balanced in her and hold her balance in her back has really been a struggle. So that's quite nice. Yeah, that's quite nice. You see she's moving a lot more through her body after the trot. Not as much, or and not having her back up as much as I would like, but still, it's okay. And now things kind of get funny because they're getting horses, and she thinks that every horse is her best friend and wants to play with her. So being on her back when horses move around is really hard. There. So yeah, you will see there. She looked to the outside and kind of she thinks it's playtime instead of working time. So there. She kind of throws her head down. There. That's better, I think. Yeah, that's better. So she still has her head and nose. I think the nose is a bit too much in a backward motion. But I'm settling with the mounted work there. And when you will see, I kind of had a discussion in my head what I would do next, and I decided to do a bit more work in hand just to get her to work through her body in this direction, because it was in the other direction that she really she was swinging through her body a lot sooner than in this one. So I figured, well, I have ridden her now, and I really want the back to come up at the end of the session. So I'm just doing some more work in hand to finish off and really try to get her back up and her hind legs to cross over. So, and I think I've done work in hand perhaps 5 times with her now. She's doing all right, I think. I saw on the clinic Will really had to work a lot to get her where he wanted her. So it is a difficult horse since she is so young and doesn't really know what is asked, what I want her to do. So, but when she figures it out, she really is working as hard as she can. So there, I like that walk. I like. Kind of comes up a bit, and there I like it. There I like it. Now she's soft. Now she's soft. So you will see now she's more relaxed than before. Even though it's not ideal, she's much more relaxed and able to not just throw her head down, but having it in the position that is more beneficial for her than all the way down, just dropping her neck. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. So she's swinging through her body, and yeah. So this was our session. I will stop just in a few seconds. Yeah, right there. And yeah, not the ideal workout, but you have to work with what you have. Goodbye.